Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be doing FizzBuzz, which is lead code problem number 412. This problem states, given an integer n, return a string array answer where if the answer equals FizzBuzz, if the number is divisible by 3 and 5, and the answer should equal Fizz if it's divisible by 3 but not 5, but the answer should equal Buzz if it's divisible by 5 and not 3. Otherwise, just return the number. So let's look at some examples. So n equals 3, so it's going to go through 1, 2, and 3. So it outputs 1, it outputs 2, and it outputs Fizz because Fizz is divisible by 3 is divisible by 3. The second example for 5, 1, 2, then Fizz, because 3 is divisible by 3, and then 5 is divisible by 5. In this last example, inputs or outputs 1 through 15. So 3 is divisible by 3, 5 is divisible by 5, then we have 6, which is divisible by 3, so on and so forth. And then FizzBuzz is 15, which is divisible by both 5 and 3. Alright, so let's code this. Alright, so lead code talks about being innovative to code this, and I like to follow the philosophy KISS, K-I-S-S, which is keep it simple, stupid. So if you devise some elaborate way to do FizzBuzz, then people that follow you, if you aren't working at the company anymore, are going to have a hard time following it. So the company you're interviewing for wants some elaborate scheme for FizzBuzz, and you probably don't want to work there anyway. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. So we're going to do an easy to understand and pretty popular way of doing FizzBuzz. It's a very common question. So here we go. So we're given an input n, which is the number that we're going to iterate through, and then pass back a string list of the answers. First thing we're going to do is define the result, which is this is the return value, a new array list. And then we're just going to loop through it. So if I mod 3, meaning if the number is divisible by 3 leaves a remainder of 0, and the number mod 5 equals 0. So like 15 mod 3 is equal to 0. There's no remainder for 15 when you divide it by 3. Same thing with 5. If you divide 15 with a mod 5, there's no remainder. So then we're going to add FizzBuzz to the array list. Else, if it's divisible by 3, meaning there's no remainder when you divide it by 3, then we're going to add Fizz. So we check FizzBuzz first, because if it's divisible by, if we did 3 first, then we would output Fizz without knowing if it was divisible by 5. So the key is to do this 3 and 5 check first. Else, if it's if the mod 5 equals 0, then we're going to add Buzz to the array list. Else, we're just going to add the string value to the array list. And then at the end, we're going to return the result. So let's debug this and see what we get. So I chose 5. Alright, so we have the number 1. The number 1 is not divisible by 3 or 5, so we're just going to add it to the string, to the array list. So we have 2, same thing, not divisible by 3 or 5. But now we have, you see here it's divisible by 3, but not divisible by 5. So it's divisible by 3 only, so we add Fizz to the list. 4 is the same as 1 and 2. It's not divisible by 5 or 3. And then Buzz should be divisible by 5. And that is the answer. Size 5. So you've got 1, 2, Fizz, 4, and Buzz. And that is what we're looking for. Let's run this through leet code here. Looking good. Submit that. And it looks like not the fastest solution. Let's try that again. Oh, look at that. Even you know my feelings on the accuracy of these submissions, but 99%, faster than 99%, and uses less memory than 60%. All right, let's go through these time and space complexity. So time complexity is O of n. So the bigger your input parameter is, the more numbers we have to iterate through. So that's pretty straightforward there. And space complexity is O of 1. Although we input, as the number of inputs grows bigger, like we don't use any extra space. We're just checking that array. We're not, there's no way we're going to have more than the initial number of, the original number of numbers, actually. So there's no extra space needed. I struggled getting that out, but it's O of 1. So, all right. There you have it. So let me know if you have questions. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.